morning, everybody. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in the beautiful San Clemente. We're so glad you're here with us this morning, and we'd like you to join us on our very first sing-along song, which is called Holy, Holy Way by Ricky Byers, and the words will either show up here, or they're also in your program, or you can just do listen and echo response with Wade and Kimberly. Options. How about that? Here we go.
Somebody dropped something.
Good morning, beautiful center. I'm Carla Sharadas, one of your staff ministers, and we want to thank you. We want to thank you for bringing into our atmosphere of worship the gift of your presence here this morning. We are a non-denominational, trans-denominational center, and no matter where you've been, no matter what your walk has been on your spiritual path, we want you to know that you're welcome here. And we're going to get started this morning in our lovely opening celebration, lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thoughts and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Fred Mercado lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. Would you join me now in this affirmative prayer? And know as I speak these words for myself that I'm speaking them for each one of you. In this holy moment of now, I anchor myself. I anchor myself in love. I anchor myself in peace. I anchor myself in the one divine mind, which we call God. And it's easy for me now just to rest the body, clear the mind, to be fully present in this word. For I know that words are powerful. I know that words are things. I know that words manifest and make the creation of our lives. And so this is what I declare for each one of us this morning, that we were born into this world from a loving source. It's a source of energy that is every place present. And it's right here, right now. It's in this word, it's in this room, it's in our hearts. And it is this loving presence that continues to flow through our lives with all of its good. I recognize that everything is made of energy, that we are pure light and we are pure energy, and that we are made in the image and the likeness of God. And so I anchor myself in that love. And I transform it into something that is ever, ever expanding into the oneness of life. And I give such great thanks for that. Such great thanks. I also give such great thanks for knowing that each one of you is touched and inspired by the music this morning, by the message and by the fellowship that we bring with each other. And as I release the word, I know the word is whole, and please help me anchor it by saying, and so it is. And now I'd like to invite Hans Smith up to read our declaration, our principles, and our affirmation.
Thank you, Reverend Carla. Good morning.
Good morning.
Life is good in paradise, isn't it? Okay, please join me in reading our Declaration of Principles, which appear and also in your program. I believe in God, one creative intelligence, operating through the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates upon the law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief.
Now
I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it. And so it is. And now our affirmation, which was written especially for you, each and every one of you. I am the high-flying vibrational frequency of love and light. Today, I broadcast this message to all of God's creations, and so it is.
Thank you, Hans. And please welcome our singer today, Michael Paul Smith.
Oh, good morning. So good to be here with you all this morning. I feel a little bit, angels have two wings, right? And I feel like I have one wing this morning because my other wing is at another center this morning being honored. She just became a practitioner. Some of you know Dana. And yes. And so separation is good, and so we said, this is really sad. I'm not going to see you. I'm not going to be. And so anyway, I said, well, have a blessed Sunday, and I'll go and tell everybody I send my love. But it's so good to be here with you this morning, and as I work with Reverend, so exciting. Anyway, here we go. There's a power within, a force that shapes your life. Creation begins with the thoughts in your mind. Realize your truth. Open your eyes to see. Your world is made by you. You know you cause it to be. It is done as you believe. It's the word you speak that make it so. It's up to you to plant those seeds. It's the thoughts you think that make it grow and come unto you. And it's done unto me. It is done as we believe.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Wait, is it all right if I share your stand and move it too? Was that an original, Michael Paul Smith?
It was originally, yes, it's an arrangement of an original. And so, yeah, a gentleman in Phoenix, Arizona wrote it, Tom Arnold,
Uh-huh.
and he gave me the permission to work it.
To rock it.
To rock
To
it.
rock it. Shall we just say it? Ooh, I like the way those days. Beautiful. What a vibration. But that we could feel. Could we feel it? I could feel it. Could you feel the vibration in the Declaration of Principles? Yeah, felt good. Could you feel the vibration as we were meeting and greeting and chatting each other up and hugging? Maybe a little kissing going on? I could feel it. That's what I call God. That's what I call the Holy Spirit. That's what I call the presence. And it's always there. It's always there, simply awaiting our recognition of it. I think in your song you said, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. Yeah. Simply awaiting my recognition of it, I get to remind myself that it's there. I get to remind myself. So, just in case you don't know me, I'm Patty Mercado. Dr. Heather is in Canada today, and she's celebrating her nephew's 25th wedding anniversary. So, we send her love, know that she's having a great time, and I'm happy to spend this morning with you. So we're talking about being a spiritual broadcast station today. This is the last in our series on wholeness, and I like it that it falls into the series of wholeness because when we're remembering that there's an original broadcaster, an original source, an originator in that one that I call God, Spirit, the Almighty, then everything comes from that one. And everything is a part of that one creative intelligence. And so God, as first cause, is the originating broadcaster. We, made in the image and likeness of the divine, are part of it. So that means what we think, what we say, what we do, it makes a difference. We're either perpetuating, we're either increasing that vibration of love, that vibration of creativity, that vibration of infinite potential, or we're not. And unfortunately, it's our choice. Or maybe that's fortunately. It's our choice. We get to choose. True?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. It's not just about me. It's, there's a vibration going on. We're going to do this together. Michael and I spoke before the service. It's the thing that happens when we come together. It's the thing that happens when we come into the presence of the divine and we join with it consciously and mindfully. So I'm really not interested in just being up here and speaking, but I'm completely interested in sharing this with you and us. Good? All right, we're in agreement, right?
Agreement.
That's the tape that's holding it in place. So, welcome. Welcome to RUTC Broadcasting Station. RUTC. What's missing? The R. RURTC. Are you ready to receive? In this broadcast, we're going to be receiving and we're going to be broadcasting. We're going to be giving and we're going to be receiving. And all of it is part of that divine unfoldment of spirit, giving its infinite download to us. So the science of mind tells us that all form comes from one substance made manifest through vibration. Ernest Holmes wrote that in The Science of Mind. And in studying the science of mind, we learned that in order to mentally receive a message and bring it to the surface, experience it, one must be in tune with it. If we want to experience love, then we need to know what love feels like. Right? A+ over there. Brother Thomas in the house. Otherwise, I'm just kind of floating out there in the atmosphere, kind of lost in what's going on. But I'm really interested in knowing love, so I get to know what it is. And if it's right here, how can it be so obvious to everyone out there and I not experience it? Is that possible? Some say yes and some say no. This makes it so exciting and juicy, doesn't it? If it's ever present, always present in its entirety, how can I be in the midst of it and not experience it, I wonder? I wonder. Because it's up to me. I must actually take my attention to my intention. I must actually align with the power and the presence and the authority. So there's one God, one power, one source, one creative intelligence, one perfect life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now. I unify with it. Knowing that there is only that one, that everything comes from the one, knowing that all life is a part of that one life, then my life must be a part of that life. Until I actually do that, until I actually unify with it, until I actually know that I cannot be separate from it, then it's just a really great idea. And it's up to me. Only I can unify with it. Can I unify for Fred? Nope. I can know his truth. I can know your truth, and I do. And you can know mine, thank goodness, because sometimes I need you. But in the end, it's up to me. Are you? Recognition, unify. So I must unify with it in order to know it. And if I want that vibration of love and light in my life, and I really want to experience more love and more light and more power and more beauty and more creativity and more wisdom, then I get to turn my attention to it. I get to seek out that vibration and know it and join with it. Bring my attention to my intention. Bring myself to it. Because we comprehend the infinite to the degree that it expresses through us. God can only do for us what it can do through us. Yes? So I become familiar with the interior of my being, that Christ self, that Christ consciousness, and I do it in a really special place. Maybe you guys have a place like that too. I do it in my prayer chair. It's got this awesome vibe. It does. It's got this beautiful vibration. And sometimes I just like to go sit there and hang out because it's so beautiful. But it didn't just happen that way. It developed that vibration from the time that I spent in it, from the time of me praying in it and surrendering in it and loving in it and crying in it and praying in it and being in it and knowing the divine in it. And pretty soon there's a vibration there that is unexplainable. People come into my home, and my prayer chair is right there in the front room. Because that way I don't walk out the door without stopping and saying, hey. People come into my home and they feel it. We know it. We can experience, we sense it, we feel the vibration. So that's one of the places. One of the other places that I come to know that vibration and I unify with it is with people. Are there people that you resonate with? Say yes. Yes. Because really, there are. There are. Have you noticed it? Have you noticed that certain people you just love to be around? There's just something about them. It's really not explainable. I mean, they're wonderful and they're great, but what is it? What's that thing about them that you just love being around? It's love, knowing itself. It's truth, beholding itself. It's creativity and it's wisdom. And have you noticed that some people you feel it with more than others? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's true, right? Because everything has a vibration to it. We're energy. We're energy. And so everything has a vibration to it. And sometimes, I know it might be hard to believe, but sometimes my energy is a little quiet. Subdued.
No way, Patty.
Sad. Downtrodden. Sometimes my energy feels separate. And those are the times when I turn to my peeps. Those are the times when I turn to the people around me and I just be and I bask in your presence. Have you ever been that for someone?
Yep.
Have you ever intercepted that energy with someone? And you get to just be with them. Sometimes there's nothing to say, and yet your presence says it all. Sometimes just being there is enough to feel the vibration. And what happens when I meet that vibration, when I'm sitting with my friend, and they're reminding me of who and whose I am, and I've been feeling downtrodden and sad, worthless. And I'm in the space of love, and I'm in the space of light, and I'm in the space of truth, and I'm in the space of wholeness. What do you think happens? Go ahead and say it.
Brings you up.
Healing. Yeah, healing, and it brings me up, and it reminds me of who I am. And all because I was willing to be in the vibration of love. Each one of us is that vibration of love, of light, of truth, of wholeness, of wellness, of transformative power. Each one of us. Sometimes we feel really good in it. We feel really strong in it. We feel really effortless in it. And sometimes we don't. But we're not here to do it alone. No one does it alone. This week I was doing some reading, and I read these words, and they just resonated with me. They resonated with me in such a beautiful way. Have the unmitigated courage to touch each other. I don't mean with your hands. I mean with your hearts. Have the unmitigated courage to touch each other, to be with each other, to remind each other of the truth of who and whose we are, to call forth the full power, presence, and authority of God, of love, of truth, of wellness, of peace, and embody that vibration. And as we embody that vibration, you know what happens? It kind of links up with someone else. It links up with the vibration over here, and it links up with the vibration over there, and it links up with the vibration over here, and it links up with the vibration over there, and it links up with the vibration of like. And pretty soon we are a superpower. And yeah,
amen.
and you know, that's what happens in this center on Sunday mornings. You know, that's what happens when we're in class together. You know, that's what happens when it's one-on-one. And it's what happens in life when we join together in agreement to see the good. When we join together in agreement to love. When we join together in agreement to rise above the pettiness, the judgment, the discrimination, the bias.
Yes. Amen. Come on.
When we do that, thank you. I love it that we're participating together. When we do that together, there is this magic that happens. It feels like magic, right? But is it magic? Well, yes, it is. But what else is it? Yeah. Well, I call it God. I don't know what y'all call it. You might call it the thing itself. You might call it divine mind. You might call it creative energy. I I like the word, I like the idea, I use God. When we stand in agreement with the truth of our being, it cannot help but show up in our lives. It can't help it. So again, I go back to, how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, we get to know it. We listen to music that uplifts us. We're so blessed. We really do, right here in our center, have the very best music. And the music, the vibration, I mean, you could just feel it moving through you, right? You could feel it, a little bird walk, but really fun. A few years ago, I was in the LA Marathon, and I'm walking down the streets of Los Angeles, and along the side are lots of people. You know, me and 40,000 of my closest friends were out there walking. And along the streets are another 20,000 really close friends. And they're cheering, and they're hollering, and they're hooting. And at one point, there were these do you call it taiko drums? Is that what you call it? Yeah, the great big monster ones, and they're beating them, and you can just feel the vibration. You can just feel it moving through you. And do you know that that just moved us up that road? Mm-hmm. That vibration just moved us up that road. There wasn't anything else going on but the movement. The vibration. And so our word does that. Our word is our power. How we use our word is what it's all about. Are we saying what we mean? Are we meaning what we say? Are we lifting up? Are we remembering? When we look at someone and we are talking to them, are we talking to the God in them? Or did we, in a moment of amnesia, forget? Did we forget that that too is the beloved? I used to tell my kids, you can say the exact same words to me, but you might try a tone of voice that's different. The words aren't the problem here, kids. It's the way you're saying them. So we start paying attention to the vibration of our words. We start paying attention, and we start noticing. We can gauge it because we can look at the reaction on the faces of the people that we're with, and we can get a pretty clear picture often, unless they're really good at the poker face, of letting us know how our vibration is going. It's been said that we're mirrors for each other. Yeah, it's true. And we can allow that to be. So we get to know our words, and we get to know the vibration of them. And we get to know our actions and why we're behaving the way that we're behaving, the choices that we're making, and we allow that first broadcaster, that first cause, to have a clear and perfect passage through us. A clear and perfect passage with no interference. When we forget and we tell God how it's supposed to go, we're creating interference in our own life. I do that. You might not. So no one does it alone. We do it together. We allow our lives to be transformed by the very vibration of love. We allow our lives to be transformed by remembering we're that vibration. We're that vibration. It is done unto you as you believe. Believe. Believe it's true. one individual can transform and make a new world. I have it on the very best authority that that individual is the one sitting in your seat now. The vibration that you individually put out when you're in alignment with Source, when you're not, but the vibration that you individually put out with a clear intention of truth and love and light, that's the thing itself. That's the power. That's the creative movement. So all the transmitter needs is a good receiver. All the broadcaster needs is a good receiver. So are you a good receiver?
Yes.
And are you in turn a good broadcaster?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. But I didn't really get it from most of you. I got it from some of you. So just check in with yourself, because it's not for me to decide for you, and you don't have to decide it right now, but I'm inviting you to just check in with yourself. Am I willing to expand my experience of the power and the presence of God in my life, of good, of love, of truth in my life?
Yes.
Ooh, I like that. Well then, it is done. And so it is. So prayer being that beautiful way that we connect with the divine and commune with the Holy Spirit, will anchor it in prayer, and Diane will probably set us up. Do you? I love the way we work. Right here, right now, in this holy and sacred moment of now, in this place of eternal life, in the full presence and power and expression of love, of light, of truth, of wholeness, I speak this word. Recognizing and knowing that there is indeed one power, one life, one source, one energy, one love, one creative intelligence, known by many names. I call it God. I call it Spirit. I call it love. And knowing that that one continuously knows itself and reveals itself in and through and as all life. There can be nothing outside of it. I am one with the one. And as I know this truth for myself, I know it for all life. All life. The one life. And so knowing that all life is connected in that beautiful creative energy, that vibration of love, I know that what we are doing is making it known through the very vibration of our word, through the very vibration of our thought, through our presence, through our movement, that creative intelligence that is knowing itself is the very thing that is going on when I am knowing myself. And so I choose to know myself, my capital S self, in a greater way. I choose to know that each person is expressing that perfect self to the best of their ability. And so I love the best in all. I align with the truth in all. And I know that by the very vibration of this word, we are unified. By the very vibration of this word, thoughts are renewed, lives are healed. By the very vibration of this word, life is transformed. Good to greater good, glory to greater glory. And because I know that this is the truth, I simply say thank you for the outpicturing, for the beautiful demonstrations of love and light in the lives of each one. I say thank you for the generosity and the creativity and the wisdom that is shared. And as I release this word, I know I'm releasing it to a law, a perfect power. I joyfully, gratefully, lovingly let go. I let go and I let God do its divine work. And please join me in knowing this. And so it is. And so it is. And amen.
Thank you so much, Reverend Patty. And please welcome back Michael Paul Smith.
You know, that talk made me want to just hold my heart with my hand and just know love. I'm doing a talk on love. And I think this is something we need to invest more time in our culture. We take classes and master's degrees and everything. Why don't we have a master's degree in love? And we just focus and teach our children at an early age what love is. So anyway, I'm going to start that. That's going to be a Wednesday night talk here on coming, and it's going to be all love. And what does love mean? You know, that's... Anyway, you inspired. Thank you. Thank you for that, Reverend Patty. To dream the impossible dream, to find the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave cannot go, to right the unrightable wrong, and to love pure and chaste from afar, and to try when your arms are too weary to reach the unreachable star. Listen, my friend, follow that star. No matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to fight and to hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious grace, that my heart lie peaceful and calm when I lay to my rest. And the world will be better for this. And one soul torn and covered with scars still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star.
Wow. Speaking of vibration today, is this room filled to capacity? Thank you so much. I'd like to invite our stewards to come up at this time. And it's time to share our gifts, our tithes, and our offerings. So first this morning, we're going to read our prosperity affirmation together. And then after that, we're going to have a moment of silence so that we can really feel, again, the vibration. We can feel the vibration of thanksgiving. We can feel the vibration of gratitude. We can feel the law of reciprocity as we share our gifts we receive. So will you read with me the affirmation? My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.
soul wells up with hallelujah. A lightning flash, my pounding heart, a breaching whale, a shooting star gives testimony that you are, and my soul wells up with hallelujah. Oh, praise the mighty word. There is no language where you can't rehearse. Your song goes out to all the earth. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. The pulse of life within my wrist, a fallen snow, a rising mist. There is no higher praise than this, and my soul wells up, oh my soul wells up, yes my soul wells up with hallelujah. Oh, praise to God, His mighty works. There is no language where we can't rehearse. Our song goes out to all the earth. Hallelujah, 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 oh hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Thank you so much, Diane. We'd like to acknowledge those in service this week at our center. Would you please stand so that we can give you a lot of love if you've been in service this week? Our volunteers are really the heart of our center, and we just love you. Thank you so much. And would our practitioners remain standing? Practitioners are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer. And if you would like your life to transform, you should go and make an appointment with one of these beautiful, caring people. Your life can really shift and be gifted in the most extraordinary way. And to get a taste of this Sunday, you can get a little mini version of it with one of our practitioners in service. We have 2 affirmative prayer tables in the back, and then also our tranquility room is available to you. So our practitioners in service today are Fred Mercado, Hans Smith, Aidan Greeny, and Jill Burnett. Let's give them a nice round of applause. And if you're visiting us for the very first time, we'd like you just to raise your hand, or if you're really brave, would you stand up so that we can bring you a gift this morning? Any newcomers this morning? Beautiful. Thank you so much. If you remain standing for just a moment, if you could just remain standing for just a moment. Inside your gift bag this morning, you'll find some information about our center. You'll also find a gift card, and if you'll bring that, fill it out and bring it to our bookstore right where you walked into our sanctuary. We have a beautiful gift waiting for you, so thank you. And we'd like to just affirm you if you would continue standing. Thank you. So congregation, would you please repeat after me? Welcome to our center.
Welcome to our center.
We know who you are.
We know who you are.
We see the spiritual truth of you.
We see the spiritual truth of you.
You are loved, actualized.
You are love actualized.
You make a difference.
You make a difference.
We have been blessed by your presence here this morning.
We have been blessed by your presence here this morning.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
I think we have some announcements now.
The center is always full of biblically inspired things to do.
James 1:22. Be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves.
Today at noon, Mary Brogdon is leading Conscious Connection for a small group discussion about the ideas you heard in the service today, and childcare is provided.
Romans 13:11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
This week at Wednesday's Wisdom, Case Parks will be our speaker, and his talk is The Awakening is Happening.
1 Corinthians 10:16 and 17. Since there is one bread, we who are many are one body, for we all partake of the one bread.
It is also the first Wednesday, and that means potluck. So come at 5:45 and bring your favorite dish to share, and then stay for the talk at 7.
Proverbs 22:6. Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it.
The next parent forum is on Wednesday, August 8th from 11:30 to 1. A light lunch is served and childcare is provided. Speak to Reverend Patty for more information.
Ecclesiastes 4:9 and 10. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them.
Friendship circles have now launched. There's a sign-up sheet on the back table if you're interested in being on the wait list for future circles.
Genesis 2:15. Then the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to tend and to keep it.
The next meeting of the men's group is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. All men are invited. Contact Dave Friedman for more information.
Hebrews 10:24. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and do good works, not neglecting to meet together as is the habit of some.
There is a special event for the Women's Circle this Friday, August 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Instead of meeting here, the meeting will be in Mission Viejo at the backyard pool of Allison Mitchell. Contact Joyce Fournier at the phone number listed in the bulletin.
Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future.
The visioning class meets today from 12:30 to 2:30 in the multipurpose room. This class is facilitated by practitioner Amy Breeden.
Genesis 28:17. He was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate to heaven.
The book study on Home with God, written by Neil Donald Walsh, also continues on Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 with Mary Brogdon.
Psalm 100. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands.
Coming soon, the Chimers Club. More information in the next few weeks.
Matthew 19:14. Jesus said, let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these.
Please join us in welcoming the kids.